You, y'all. Lord, give me the strength. Give me the strength.
Hi, everyone.
Is this what you wanted? You want to be on camera? That's why you acted like you didn't open the candy that you did open?
Hi, everyone.
All right, Soraya. I know you're saying hi. I need to get to work, so.
Are you surprised?
Am I surprised?
Yeah.
No, I'm not surprised at all. I know you like the camera. All right, here you go, Mama. I have this candy. Sorry, y'all. What's going on, y'all?
Yeah.
I apologize, guys. My daughter is in the building here. You got all that? Please go ahead. And now we know what we need to do. We've eaten dinner. We've got everything that we needed. Popsicles and all. We're good. Thank you, ma'am. Ooh, y'all. What's up, everybody? I apologize, y'all, because for the delay. I was wearing something and I just did not close the door, please. Like we talked about. Samantha Lee. Soraya, you heard me. Close the door. 1. Ooh, y'all. Y'all, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to tonight's show. Let me get a drink of water. I was wearing a dress, y'all. I don't know. I just didn't feel, I don't know. I didn't feel right. Is that too high? That's too high. Maybe I'm getting taller. I don't know what today is one of them days. Welcome to tonight's show, y'all. It's your girl, Samantha Lee, and I am here. I'm back and I'm better. Welcome. I want to thank each and every one of you guys who have shown up to the show tonight. Tonight is going to be a good show. I said 3 ways to know she is wife material, but I have compiled a list. I have checked it twice, and I'm going to let the spirit flow because, guys, I prayed before I got on here, and I'm like, okay, God, have your way. Okay, have your way today. I am going to. I'm just going to go. I'm just going to let the spirit lead me and share everything that comes to mind. So buckle your seatbelts. Before we get into it, my name is Samantha Lee. I'm going to go ahead and add my TikTok on. Again, my Facebook is not back active, y'all. Unfortunately, we are still in a position of not having my Facebook. So it's okay. It's whatever. I mean, what can one really do? I've gotten to a place where I'm like, you know what? If it doesn't happen, maybe, just maybe, God, there's a reason. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the TikTok going. And so we're all clear, and we're just gonna go ahead. So yeah. Anyway, Soraya. You said, I have a friend I admire just had a wedding ceremony. I'm not jealous. I'm happy for her. That's very good. I mean, why? I'll be honest with you. It kind of sounds like you were jealous because I wouldn't think that you were jealous just by saying you watched a friend's wedding. But the fact that you brought up that you're not jealous makes me think you might be jealous. I'm sorry, y'all. The psychology doesn't stop in my brain, y'all. My brain just keeps on going. But anyway, guys, welcome to tonight's show. My name is Samantha Lee. If you guys don't already know, I'm blessed to have a audience, if you will, on multiple platforms. And I am a therapist by trade, but I started to do content creation. And I've really, in these last, 5 or 6 months of my life, I've really dialed in and allowed God to use me. And I really do feel like I'm tapping into purpose. I really do feel like God has me on this platform to do exactly what I'm doing now, and making sure that first and foremost, I am a woman of God and I speak from that perspective versus any other perspective I could have learned in my bachelor's program, whatever. None of that really matters. It's what God is teaching me now in this season. So you will see that my content is countercultural. I'm not going with the grain. I am unapologetically going against the grain in a world that really likes us to go with the grain. And there's a lot of reasons for that. I feel like God has called me to utilize my platform to go against it. And so that is what you'll see here. Tonight's episode is about ways to know she is wifey material. Okay. And I have a lot of different things that I've brought in. I've actually brought in 15 signs of a wifey material woman. So I want you guys to buckle your seatbelts before I get into that. But before I do, if you guys don't already know, I have a podcast called the More Than Just Pretty Podcast. It is also a YouTube channel now where you will see me deliver my messages. I used to do it just audio version because I felt like some people couldn't hear me. They weren't listening to me. If I was speaking, if they saw me speaking, I felt like sometimes my messages wouldn't be delivered. However, God called me in this season to do it. And so we've done it. Me, Pam, thank you, ma'am. We've been on it. And we've been rocking and rolling. And so we've been, I don't know how many months in the game we've been, but we've been doing this for a minute. And I thank God for the ability to be consistent. So now that is where I'm at. So welcome. Okay. I think that's enough about me. I think y'all know enough. If you guys don't know, I love Samantha Lee on most platforms. And yeah, I think that's everything. I'm a mixed girl from New Jersey. I'm a mixed girl from New Jersey. Somebody said I had a video that I did, and I said a mixed girl from New Jersey or something like that. And they said a mixed girl from New Jersey. I'm like, I didn't say mixed girl. I said mixed girl. But anyway, I digress. Let's get into it. So y'all, let's get into it. So I did something different tonight. Y'all, this daggone thing want to call me at 8:00 tonight. Oh my goodness, y'all. I can't answer the call. Oh well, that is what it is. So that's besides the point, y'all. I know the enemy. Family, listen to me. I literally called during business hours. They gonna call me at 8:16. I tell you what. Can't make this stuff up, family. Can't make this stuff up. Anyway, it's okay. Y'all are more important. What we're doing here is more important. So I want to put you guys on game. My episode tonight is really, I feel like I'm Big Sis Sam. So you guys that are watching, I'm Big Sis Sam to you. Big Sis Sam says hello. Y'all are like my little brothers or older brothers. I am putting you on game about women. One thing I do know is women, all kinds of women. I know women. All right. So I want to put you on game. Now you have to also, I have to preface this by this. I am a Christian woman. I unapologetically love Jesus. And so I will tell you this, my perspective comes from the seat that I sit in, which is I'm a Christian. Okay. So if you are a Christian and you believe in the same God I believe in, then this may resonate. And I also think other people that aren't Christian can get a lot from this list, but I am going to be speaking from my perspective, from the seat. I think what my pastor says this, he says, where you sit determines what you see. Right. So where I sit is determining what I see. And that is where my perspective comes from. Okay. So we'll get into it. I did ask for people to submit questions. So I'm gonna try to calm myself down at some point and not give you everything, because there is so many signs that I have here that I listed out. And I want to make sure that I get to as many things I can, but I obviously can't get to everything at all. So one of the first things that I want to bring up, guys, is we talk about one of the biggest ways to know she is wifey material. All right. Wifey. Y'all, that makes me think of a song, y'all. I'm not doing it right. Hold on. Next. Y'all know. Next. Wifey. See? Oh, man. Y'all know the beat. I didn't do it right. That's my song though. Next, wifey. Y'all know. I wish I could play the song so we could get into the mood. I could just do do a little dance or whatever, and then we get into the wifey. Cause here's the thing, family. Here's the thing, family. I want you guys to know, there's a lot of men looking for their wifey. I don't care what they say. I don't care what they say. A lot of men looking for their wifey. One thing I want to preface this list by, I think the world has done a really good job of trying to make men not want to get married, which I think is criminal. It's criminal. Because I think when marriage is done well, I'm not saying all marriages are right. I think a lot of times marriage is not done well because we're choosing from our wisdom instead of relying upon godly wisdom. And we're not letting God prepare us. We just say we want to get married and we just go get married instead of, allowing God to process us to be ready for marriage, because marriage is one of the biggest callings that we have, right? And I'll be honest with you, I don't know if I've ever been in a position where I really feel like I was developed to be a wife. I really feel like God has been developing me over the years. But I think I had to go through a process. And I didn't even know that existed. I don't think a lot of people know that existed. But when God calls you to be a wife or God calls you to be a husband, he's going to take you through a process. That's just what it is. Because it's one of the biggest callings. Your family is your first ministry. Your family is your legacy. Your family is your lineage. And a lot of men are opting out of marriage thinking like, oh my gosh, oh, I'm so scared of this. And let me tell you something. Outside of, the community, certain communities, people are encouraged to get married. It's only certain communities where they're not encouraging marriage. They're not encouraging two-parent households. They're not encouraging those things. And why is that? Because marriage is power. I don't care whether it's, we talk about somebody who's being a president versus somebody who's going to be a senator, being in politics, whether they're going to be a pastor, whether they're going to be a CEO of a company, whether they're going to be the face of the league. They're going to choose somebody who's married. They're going to choose a family man. I don't care. I do not care what if you are more marketable, you're going to be promoted more. You live longer, typically. That's not all situations, but typically men that are married live longer. Ray Cox, Sam, relax. Stop listening to YouTube as your method of gaining information. Guys, I can tell when social media is parenting you because you regurgitate what you hear versus actually figuring out the facts for yourself. We have to stop the sheep mentality, family. It is literally destroying our society. We just listen to what somebody says and we run around like it's fact. It's not fact. It's not fact. Y'all are literally running around. Yes, I've heard that too. I saw the YouTube video that said that. I heard that. But I also know statistics. I also know Google. I also know those things. And we're not paying attention to that. We're watching what we see on social media and we think that that's law, that's gospel, that's everything. No, there's an agenda. There is an agenda. And I feel very passionate about that because I hear so many men saying the same thing. They say the same. I'm like, okay, I know who you listen to. It be the men that be like, no, I want to get married. Those are the ones I respect because at least they got their own opinion. I know they think for themselves. I want to get married. I want to do it the right way next time. I feel that. I hear that. But when I hear the same opinion from a man in different states saying the same thing because of the same content creator that influenced you to say it, we've got to be above the influence, y'all. We've got to do our own research. I'm sorry, y'all. That really just bothers me. We cannot, guys, please don't do this to yourself. Oh my gosh. You're taken out of you're being taken out of your position. Your position of power is literally taken from you. It is being taken from you. And you just over here yeah, it's my idea. No, it's not your idea. It's from the music you listen to. It's from the social media you ingest. That's where it comes from. It doesn't come from you. And some of us have been hurt in divorces. I know. But I know most people can also say, you know what? I probably should have done things a little different. You got to follow your own path in this life. A man who finds a wife finds favor with the Lord. You're literally taking yourself out of favor. You're taking yourself out of power. You're taking yourself out of authority. You literally are taking yourself out of your kingship by deciding to say, I don't want covenant. I don't want covenant, so I'm taking myself out of position. I want to live this life that is not condoned by God. Okay, do that. But you are taking yourself out of godly position. Period. That's what I believe. I actually just had a conversation with a man, and I said to him, he's like, I never looked at marriage the way you describe it. And I said, well, who have you been listening to? Men that are secretly married, but have a platform encouraging men not to get married. Why? Because there's hurt men that want to hear that, and they make money from that. Or those same men are facing charges currently that might have them incarcerated for the rest of their lives. That is where we're getting our information, family. No. Be above the influence. All right? Be above the influence. Because obviously their advice has not worked. It's not working. Men are describing the secret or the silent pandemic for men is loneliness. Loneliness. There's a movement for men to get married again with men because of this silent pandemic, because men are struggling with not having the connection they literally were given from the time they were created. Adam, when God created Adam, he said it is not good for man to be alone. And that is why men are experiencing depression, loneliness. They're unaliving themselves. Men are really struggling mentally because of this toxic narrative that keeps them out of their position. Even God said it wasn't good for you to be alone. Now we're doing it a broken way, and we're like, oh, the dating pool is this, the dating pool is that. Yeah, because we created that. There's a deeper agenda going on, family, and I'm sorry I'm so passionate about it, but I just feel like, listen, here's the thing. I'm going to get married. Say I'm going to be married. So really, this passion isn't about me, because I know I'm going to be. This passion is about our society and the brokenness that I see within it. Because it's not just women that I'm concerned about. It's men too. Because men are, just like women are struggling with mental health issues on a different level, just like men. And we see it in our music. I can't wait for a man to make a rap song about how beautiful it is to be married. So I listened. I heard married to his woman, his Princess Jasmine. Okay, I can't wait. I can't wait for a man to make a song about that. I can't wait to see that type of situation. And when we do see it in society, we prop it up, especially Black and brown community, because like the token relationships. No, let's make it the norm. They want us to be in broken homes. They want us to be broken. That is what they want. And instead of being above that cycle, we perpetuate the cycle. And then we wonder why our community is so broken. We wonder why we're in this crabs in a barrel mentality. All right, let me stop. I'm sorry, God. It just bothers me. All right, y'all. Let's get into how you identify a wife, because God even said it is not good for man to be alone. It is not good for man to be alone. So let's get into it, y'all. For those who are looking for their rib, if you're not looking for their rib, you may one day want to look for their rib. And so, you may think you found your rib. You might have found the bone of your bone, the flesh of your flesh. You might have already done it. So I'm going to give you a list to know if you have. All right. And ladies, if you are single and you're watching the live, I pray that this encourages you, because a lot of us want husbands, but we're not wives. We want that title, but we don't deserve it. So we have to step up our game. So again, let's get into it. Number one, she has emotional maturity. She has emotional maturity. I'll be honest with you, it's very rare today to find a woman that is emotionally mature. And it's also very rare to find a man who has emotional intelligence and maturity. Right? And when we're talking about this, we're talking about a woman that doesn't let emotions run the relationship. Right? We're talking about women that do not allow emotions run the relationship. The woman who is self-aware, a woman who can process conflict without blowing up, a woman who knows how to communicate without tearing down. This is a woman who doesn't shame you for your feelings. This is a woman who creates a safe space. She values being your pillow. She values being your ear in a tough time. Now, of course, a lot of women don't know how to be that. But a woman who is self-aware, a woman who is able to say, listen, you know what? I blow up, I'm in a space right now, or I was wrong, or I apologize. I'm sorry. I'm not being manipulative. I'm not trying to go back and forth with you. I'm wrong. My bad. It's not a perfect woman. It's a woman who can say, listen, emotional maturity is I can own up to what I've done wrong. And I can actively work on becoming better. I can communicate how I feel without blowing up and making you the bad guy, or blowing up and blaming you for every feeling that I have. I did this because you did that. I mean, you tripping. Like, really, you're tripping. Do you not remember when you did blah, 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 blah? So you're coming at me about this, but do you remember 2 months ago when you decided you were not going to call me back? Now you're mad at me? Wow. You're mad that I posted that? Why? Like, what do you mean? It's like my expression, like I thought it was cute there. No, man, I'm mad at you because you wearing a bikini and he looking at you like, okay, why are you doing all that? Like, we together. Who is that for? That ain't for your homegirls. What do you mean? Like, are you trying to control me? Wow. Whoa, you're doing too much. Emotional maturity, family. Emotional maturity is I'm wrong. I know I'm imperfect. I'm not going to displace blame. I'm not going to sit here and make it about you or what you're not. No, I'm wrong. The Bible says in all things gain understanding. It says in all things gain understanding. Not in some things, all things. And there are some women that instead of trying to understand you, they demonize you first. They shame you first. That is not a wife. That is a girlfriend. Because the number one thing as a wife that you will have to do is understand your man. You're going to have to understand him better than everybody else in his world. Why? Because you're going to probably have his children. You're going to have to somehow have a household. And one of the biggest things, I'll never forget this, family. I spoke with Rev Run, and I had the pleasure of speaking with Rev Run and Miss Justine Simmons. I love them. And I remember talking to them, and I was like, what was one of the things that kept you guys together? They've been together for at that point, it was like 25 years. I remember Rev came to me and he told me, he said, oh no, Miss Justine told me, be professional forgivers. They became professional forgivers. Meaning that they never let anything, they never held on to anything. They understood that things would happen and change, and tides would change, and they would argue at the beginning of the day, and then by the end of the day they was okay. They over there sharing food and chilling. They understood that in order for a relationship to work, we have to be mature enough to have conflict and not allow that to ruin our entire 24 hours, because they understood the value of time. What does that mean? I don't know how much time I have. I could be on this live today, and tomorrow I could pass away. Tomorrow I may not be here. I may be in heaven departed. And that means the time that I have today, I cannot waste it. I cannot waste it on what woulda, shoulda, couldas. I can't waste it. I have to absolutely use the time that God has given me. And there are so many people that spend their time arguing about things that at the end of the day, if that person was on their deathbed, it wouldn't matter. And how do I know this? How am I afraid? Not afraid. How can I speak to this? Because I was her. I absolutely thinking that every argument was worth taking it to the nth degree. Until God showed me. God showed me the value of time. How? Because I don't know if you guys remember, a few months ago, I had a puppy. And y'all, that puppy drove me crazy. She had her moments. She really did. She had her moments. But I had gotten so close to her. And one day, she woke up and started having seizures. I didn't know that the beginning of that day, when I dropped her off at the doctor's office, I would not be picking her up alive. That by the time I got to the doctor's office, I'd be holding her dead body in my hands. And I realized with that every time I got upset with her, every time I wasted a moment, a millisecond that I could have had with her. And family, that's a puppy. That's 12 weeks with a puppy. What about a partner? What about a marriage? How much more? Or a child, how much more time are we wasting? Upset about something or not taking ownership on something that literally will not matter. I understand the value of time. I don't care how much money you have, you can't buy time. And we waste time. We waste time trying to protect our egos and do this tit for tat, and not being emotionally mature enough to say, you know what, I'm wrong. You know what, I'm sorry. You know what, let's make it right. You know what, it ain't worth it. You know what, let me put my pride and ego to the side and do what's best for the team. If a woman can't do that, she's not a wife, she's a girlfriend. If a woman cannot do that, she's not a wife, she is a girlfriend. Because girlfriends are temporary, wives are forever. They're permanent. They're permanent fixtures in your life. They're a stable force. And if you can't be stable, you can't be a wife. If you can't allow yourself, when you are in a storm and you are moved by every single storm and you're unable to forgive and you're unable to apologize and you're unable to take ownership for your actions, you are not a wife, you are a girlfriend, and maybe less than that. You need to be able to hold. For the team, hold. Yes, I might not like you right now, and we might be going back and forth, and we might have some things to say. You might say something froggy, I might say something froggy back, but you my man though. I might not like you right now, but we gonna figure this thing out. That's what wives do. I'm mad, I'm gonna sit in my prayer closet and try to figure out how I'm gonna communicate with you in the next 25 minutes. I'm gonna create some distance. I don't like you right now, but I love you. I don't like you right now, but I choose you. That's a wife. That's a wife. When a woman cannot take accountability the way that she needs to, she's not mature enough to withstand and say, listen, this is how I feel. Babe, I'm sorry, y'all. Let's be real. A woman, there's an art to communicating as a woman. There's an art. What do you mean by that, Sam? I've told women this before, and I'll say it again. There's an art to communicating with your man. You also have to discern time. Not every moment in millisecond is a time to talk about what you're mad at. I've had women, they want to argue as soon as they walk into a party. They go into an event with a man, with a family event, and they're going at it with a man at the party. I'm sorry, y'all. I might be old school, but emotional maturity would say, ain't nobody here about to know we got a problem. You know I got a problem with you. I know I got a problem with you. But that is not for anybody else to know. I'm going to go to that bathroom. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'm going to sit up in that bathroom. I'm going to pray my way out of that. I'm going to God, your son is driving me crazy. Your son is out of pocket. Talk to him, God. Talk to him in the language only you can speak. I'm going to give it all to God. I'm going to walk out there and I have a smile on my face. Why? Because that's family. I protect him. I cover him. Just like he covers me, I cover him. Women are not covering these days. What do I mean by that? We think social media needs to know everything about what's going on between me and you. That's irresponsible. I don't care if it's a subliminal. I don't care what it is. We post subliminal messages acting like a child. If you had me, you had the best. And that's all I got to say. Girl, everybody know you with that man. So now you posting subliminals and we playing tit for tat games. I might be old school, but if that's my spouse, or that's who I want him to see me as a spouse, I cover him. Meaning that even the world will never know what's really going on between me and you. And if you check my track record, they still won't know what happened between me and you. Why? Because a wife covers. You can check my track record. A wife covers, and a husband should cover too. I don't have to tell nobody what you did or what you didn't do. You know, I know. I don't have to tell the world that. A wife covers. Not, oh, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to say this. And people be like, you say that now. Saying, no. Check my track record. I've never done that. That will not be me. Why? Because a wife covers. Even if I'm not your wife no more, I'm going to still cover you. Why? Because a wife covers. I'm not going to post subliminals. I'm not going to say X, Y, and Z games. Even if you're saying this about me, I'm not going to say this about you. Why? Because a wife covers. God gave me that position. I honor that, whether you're honoring that with me or not. A wife covers. And that takes emotional maturity. That takes, everybody don't need to know what this man is doing to me. Everybody don't need to know what's going on with our family. Everybody don't need to know that. Now we don't protect the sanctity of our marriages or our relationships. Why? We don't protect those things. Why? Because now we have an audience of people who don't really care about you. They just want to be entertained. You've been on social media long enough to know people want to be entertained. We over here defending ourselves and going back and forth with people. They don't care. They just want a distraction from their lives. That's the truth. That's reality. They might be in a bad relationship, and all they want to read about is your bad relationship to distract them from their bad relationship. My whole point is a wife covers, and that takes emotional maturity. Jay-Z said it best. Nobody wins when the family feuds. Nobody wins when the family feuds. He's right. Nobody wins. Right? And that's emotional maturity. So like I said, a woman who is emotionally immature, family, that's not a wife. Because in a marriage, it will require you to be emotionally mature. That does not mean you're not emotional. That means that even if you are emotional, you will be able to curtail that in a way. You'll be able to say, I'm mad. But the way that I handle that is not always going to be perfect. But I'm still covering. I'm still thinking of our team. I'm still thinking of, and that takes covering. That takes maturity. That takes thinking outside of what you want to do because you're emotional. Okay. We got that, right? Emotional maturity. I went all in. We have to go there. One of the biggest things I want to say, and I didn't 100% write it down like the way I wanted it to. I think this is a big deal. And again, this goes back to my faith. She honors God in private and public. She honors God in private and public. I think that a woman who really has a real relationship with God understands divine order. I think it's almost imperative if you want a marriage for two people to be like-minded in their belief system. And I think that if you are a man who is of Christian faith, having a woman who has a genuine relationship with God is imperative. She's going to understand divine order. She's going to hold herself accountable to God. There are things that you will not need to speak to her about because God's already talked to her. God's already convicted her. I've told you guys a story about a time where there was things that a way that I was doing things, and God told me, your husband don't play that. I was like, oh God, he watching me? Don't worry about that. He don't play that. Take it down. Homie don't play that. Take it down. And I'm like, okay. And it changed, and there was direction content, that I decided to make. But again, I felt like God was calling me to do that. But I think a lot of that had to do with whoever God has for me. That he was already cleaning me up for whoever my future is. right? He was already preparing the table for the man that he's bringing into my life. Now, that man may or may not know who I am, and vice versa. But God's already got your back because he's already dealing with me on your behalf. He's already swinging for you before you even enter the picture. That's when you have a connection with God. When you have a connection with God, God does the work you don't have to do. There's conversations you don't have to have. When a woman is locked in with God and she holds herself accountable to God and the Bible and the way the Bible is done, there are conversations that social media is having you don't have to have. There's a discipline that you have to have. I talked about first part is emotional maturity. The second part, discipline, that the honoring God. The reason why that's important is because it influences number one. It influences number one. If a woman is disciplined in her faith and her walk with God, like I just saw a young lady, she basically was married. She married as a virgin, never slept with anybody else. She has only slept with her husband, and she slept with her husband on their wedding night. There's a respect that man has for her because she's disciplined, and he knows she's disciplined. He knows that she could have done this a different way, but she decided to wait in her 30s for her husband. There's a respect. There's a discipline that comes with a woman who has literally said no to every other man but you. That's a beautiful thing. I don't necessarily like it when men shun women that are virgins. I'm like, why wouldn't you want a virgin? I know I'm not. Over here defending. It's kind of funny. You would think I'm a virgin because I'm over here defending virgin. But I mean, I feel like I'm reborn. I'm redeemed, right? But again, I don't like that because again, there's a level of discipline that if you're in your faith, you are to have. If you're really walking this thing out, there's a level of discipline it requires of you, period. There's things you just don't do or you don't feel right about because of your faith. And in this time, as I've journeyed with God, I have become adequately familiar with conviction. Because trust me, your girl is not perfect. But it's a discipline that God has called me to that I've never even known. Right? So that's why I think it's imperative for that relationship with God, because that literally, if she's honoring God and trying to honor God with her life, she understands divine order. She understands how God has called us to be, how God has called us to be as women. There's ways that she's supposed to go about conflict. There's ways that she is called to love. There's ways that she is called to cover. There is a tenet that she is to hold herself accountable to. That's why I think it's very important. If you are a man of God and you want to be married, marry you a woman that's a woman of God. That relationship's gonna be on fire. That relationship gonna be so full of God's favor, is gonna blow your mind because you're doing it God's way. That's why I say that. Find you a woman that is honoring God with her life, that has a relationship with God, a real relationship with God, because out of it comes fruit. She's not perfect. I know I'm not perfect. No woman is perfect. But I believe it's worth it. I believe it's worth it. Next thing, Next thing, number 3. She has to be attractive to you. Now, guys, this is what I'm saying. I know that this might so some of y'all, this like, what do you mean? Like every guy knows that. No, some guys don't. Some guys feel like they gotta marry someone they're not attracted to get all the qualities that they desire in a woman. As far as a godly woman, a nurturing woman, a woman who cooks and cleans, whatever that man was looking for, a woman who's purpose driven, a woman who's doing whatever that is. A lot of men make the decision to marry a woman they're not attracted to. Now, here's the thing. She don't have to be. I was talking to somebody about this earlier. I was talking to my trainer about this earlier. She don't need to be IG model bad. I mean, can we keep it real? Can we keep it real? A lot of men like, there's no women out here. There's no women out here. There's no women. Where are you looking? I feel like y'all are looking at one looking type of woman and saying, none of them. I want the IG model or the woman that looks like one to be the one that prays, is smart, is this. She can pray me out of situation. I mean, I've seen men. I would take her to church. We gonna have this relationship. She's just so pretty, and she just this, and she's smart, and y'all, again, there's lots of women that have great qualities. They don't necessarily need to be. I look at this from a different perspective, right? Let's keep it very real. A lot of women that have, and I'm saying this, and I'm like, I guess I fall in. Pam, do I fall in this category? When they have a large following, like there's a large male presence that follows them. And a lot of it is because of their attractiveness. Now we can say that with you're known, you have a certain amount of following, people know you, you know what I'm saying? It's harder to find certain attributes in those women. Now there's women that fall in between that a lot of men are ignoring for the women that are up here. What are we doing, baby? Flip up the light switch in your room, baby. The light switch is probably down. Flip it up, baby. No. This light switch that's on your wall, flip it up. Anyway, the point is there's a lot of women that may not be well known or anything like that. And they may not look like that, right? Like where all the guys are like, oh my gosh, she is just, it might not be that. There may be there's fewer of that. If I'm being very honest with you, there's fewer of that that's gonna meet all the things. And we have to. Okay, baby, I can't do this right now, baby. Can you have the TV? Can you please? You have your TV on, you have a tablet. Can you please handle this without mommy? I'll be done in a bit, okay? And I will help you out then, all right? Thank you, baby. I'm sorry, y'all. Yes, back to my point. I'm being very transparent. There's not going to be, and I've said this to my brothers, I've said this to people. What did you do? What are you doing, Soraya? Y'all, I'm so sorry. 1 second. I'll be right back. Oh my God. Stop, Mama. What are you doing, Mama? What are you doing? This doesn't have any battery. That's why. The battery's dead. That's why it's not working. You see that? There's no light coming on. That's why it's not working. Oh, yeah. Pam, I'm going to have to make her bedtime earlier. I promise you I'm going to have to get that. Do I have a, yes, I have a child. Whew. Anyway, so back to what I was saying. When it comes to, I say, I want to preface that first because I think a lot of men are solely looking at one population of women and are saying all women don't have certain. Oh gosh, I just had this conversation recently. And in the conversation I had recently, I said to this person, I said, listen, I feel like you're saying there's not many women like this, but I don't think you're looking at everyone. I think you're only looking at certain women, right? And you're saying none of them have the traits, but they are less likely to have the traits, those types of traits. That doesn't mean there aren't beautiful women that have the traits that men are looking for. We're just looking for the women that a lot of maybe, have larger platforms, the hundreds of thousands or the tens of thousands or the millions. We're looking for them to be this type of woman. And that's there's others in between those women. There's maybe 10% of the Instagram population are those women that have hundreds of thousands of followers or tens, like those things. It's only a certain percentage. It's not. So when you're only looking at them and saying, well, they're just sexualizing themselves, they're just doing this and they're just doing that. Well, yeah. But there's other women that are living integral lives that are good quality women that you're not paying attention to because you're fixated on wanting, a woman with a lot of followers that men want or is desirable. We want that woman to be all these things. And I'm going to be honest with you, that's harder to find. There's a lot of women. So that's one side. There's a lot of women that are attractive that absolutely have everything you desire. And so there's a twofold here. One fold, I'm saying, don't limit yourself and only look at this type of woman. Like, I need her to look like this. Right? Like I don't know how to, y'all, I'm trying to describe it in a way, but I cannot find the words that I'm trying to use. And I want to say IG model, but that's not what I'm trying to say, but like an influencer or someone that has a large following that, a lot of men are attracted to. A lot of men are looking for those women because that's a woman that a lot of men want. So they, as a man, is territorial. Men want creme de la creme. Men want what other men, it's like, I'm the king. I want her. Like, I want to, lock that down, but that's not a wife. And so, and I think men know that, but they want that woman to be another woman. And that's not that woman. There's very few and far between that will have more qualities because they're not encouraged to have more qualities. Does that make sense? Am I making sense? I'm okay. I'm just going to speak for me. I thank God for his presence in my life because outside of that, if I didn't have encounters with God that absolutely changed my perception, everything I would do is very much about what I look like. because that's what's constantly being reinforced. If I didn't have an encounter with God and I give glory to God, it's not about me. If I didn't have an encounter with God, everything else about my existence has been about physical. So when that's what you're being reinforced with, that's what you use, because that's what's being reinforced. And so there's certain women that may fall into that category. They get a lot of attention for what they look like. They're not working on other aspects of self, because the only thing that's being reinforced is how they look. There's usually like a coming to Jesus moment, something that happens to them if they do have this moment that changes how they see things. But otherwise than that, psychologically speaking, they just only have this encounter with the world. And so that's what they value, because that's what the world values. Does that make sense? And so a lot of men are wanting these women to be more than that, but they've never needed to be more than that. They've only needed to be pretty. They've only needed to have a body. That's all they needed to enter into the door. And I'm sorry, that's not a wife. That's not a wife. A lot of men utilize that to say, oh, I got a bad chick with me. But that's not a wife. A bad chick is not a wife. She's beautiful. But how does she make it an asset? So when men come at me about women, I'm like, you're literally talking to me. What other qualities do you see that I don't? Besides the fact that she's bad. Because bad ain't gonna hold you down when times are tough. Bad isn't gonna have your back when you need somebody to have your back. Bad ain't gonna raise your kids the way you need them to be raised. Bad isn't gonna pray for you outside of a slump when inevitably you find one. Bad isn't gonna scratch your back and rub your head when things are really, really rough and you don't have anything to fight for. Bad isn't gonna do that. Bad is gonna sit there and look at you and say, okay. They never had to be more than bad. Now, that's not all bad women. I'm saying a lot of times when men are coming at me about certain women, that's my question. If I'm going off of, I think I've said this to you guys before. When I was in college, I had an experience that shifted my life. I had a near-death experience, a thing called Stevens-Johnson syndrome. Stevens-Johnson syndrome, if you ever know, is it's an allergy, extreme allergy to medication. It literally changed my physical appearance overnight. Literally overnight. And I'm not going to describe it. It was horrible. In that time, I had a guy I was dating. He saw me. He was appalled by what he saw. Sorry, I saw a comment that made me roll my eyes. Was appalled, and our relationship was then on the rocks. That shifted me because I realized that in that moment, the only thing that was holding him there was my physical. When I didn't have it anymore, it didn't matter. And here's the thing, I didn't have any more to hold on to. All I had held on to it by that time in my life was physical. And so over time, I had to learn. Soraya, close the door. I'm sorry, y'all. I had to learn character. I had to learn that it means so much more than just being pretty. Because I didn't even know if I was ever going to look the same again. I had no idea how I was going to heal from this situation. Soraya, close the door, please, baby. Please. Please, baby. Thank you, mama. But again, that's why I say to you, it's important for you to find somebody you're attracted to, because that doesn't work either. Men cannot go against their attraction. I'm sorry. I've met a lot of men. If they don't feel like this woman is physically appealing to them, they cannot go. And the woman feels it, family. Like, I know it may seem admirable, but a woman wants to be desired. A woman desires to be desired. So when a woman doesn't feel that desire, she literally is like, does he want me or not? And a man can't hide his attraction. That's why I think it's very important. I really do believe God is going to, if God chooses a woman for you, it's going to be a woman you're attracted to. Because he built you. He knows you need it. He knows you need to be attracted to this woman to, want to do right by her. She's going to get a better version of you because you're attracted to her. It's very important. Now, somebody's on here and they're talking about women being with men they're not attracted to. I don't know if you've ever watched any other show I've done. I'm going to assume no. I don't agree with women dating men they're not attracted to. I've always said this. Even if, for me, the guy that I decide to be with, I don't care if he look like Kermit the Frog. I'm praying for God to want me to want him in such a way that y'all can think he Kermit the Frog, but I think he the finest thing moving. And some women don't mind a man that they're not. I don't think that that's wise. It doesn't matter as much to women, but for women like me, I need to be attracted to you. I need that. My body doesn't work. My body does not work the way it is intended to. If I am not with a man, I'm not attracted to. It's not gonna move. It's not gonna do right. It's not gonna do right. My body is not gonna do right. So that's why I said to myself, I can't, if it ain't doing right, nobody gonna be happy. So I need to be attracted to that man, but that don't mean everybody gonna find him attractive. I just know I gotta be. So I prayed to God. I said, Lord, when you bring him in, make sure I think he fine. I don't care what y'all think about him. Make sure I think he fine. And I say the same thing for a man. I've seen men try to go against their attraction. A man needs to be attracted to his woman. God is not going to pair you with a woman you're not attracted to. You're going to have a drawing toward this woman. Like, what is up with me and this girl? Like, golly. This one got my combination. You know, this one got my nose wide open. I don't know what she got going on, but what's up with her? Like, God's going to send you that. Right? And we may just be looking, when I mentioned before, we may be looking in the wrong places for that feeling. We're thinking it's going to come from here. And God said, no, it's going to come from here. We might be looking in the social media streets for what you should be looking for in your local neighborhood. That's my whole point. Sometimes guys are saying there's not any women, but where are you looking, beloved? Where are you looking? Some men find their wives on social media. Some don't. Right? All right. That's enough of that. I'm sorry, y'all. Well, let me give you two more because I definitely have like 15. A man should look for a wife. He should. For some of y'all on here on TikTok, my issue with that, y'all are hunters. Men are hunters. He who finds a wife, what does that mean? He found her. So what does that imply? He was looking for her. Searched all over. Okay, anyway, I hold my point. My point is this. Men, part of your dominion, I feel like we're not exercising because we no, she gonna come after me. I'm the man. She could come after me. What is that? No. What? No. No, you go get your woman. That's from the beginning of time. King David went and got his girl. He not sitting there waiting, being passive about his woman. No. He wasn't being, he said, no, I'm going back and getting her. I am not going back to the castle without her. Get my donkey. I'm going up the hill. All right. All right, another one. I'm gonna go through some of these as well. Another one I want to say, this is probably number 4, number 5. I lost track. Number 5. Nurturing. Now, guys, some of y'all may not know a woman's nurturing until she has a child. Some of y'all may not know a woman's nurturing until a woman has a child. But nurturing is not only just for a child. It's also about how she will take care of you. Because the men like to be nurtured. I haven't met one man that doesn't like to be nurtured by a woman. And so when it comes down to it, I think it's very important for you to find a woman that is nurturing. And you can see nurturing traits. Y'all know what nurturing looks like. You can find a woman that has how she is with, well, if she has a child, you can see how she is with a child. If she doesn't, you can see how she interacts with you, or how she is with other children. Nurturing is a very, very nurturing is a very important thing to put on this list. Because she's going to be more mindful of caring for you. She's going to be more mindful of caring for her children and the children you will have together. Those things are important. Some of y'all are looking at women and they're not nurturing at all. They can't even nurture their puppy. Now, that's a good indication as well. How do they take care? How do they care for if they have children? How do they care for their children? Are they present in their children's life? There's some women that don't have custody of their own children. And I don't have people that go through different situations and stuff like that. But these are things we want to pay attention to, right? We want to pay attention to. I'm so congested. I can't even. My nose is like really, man. We want to pay attention to is her being nurturing. If she's not nurturing her man, how will he know she's nurturing? Y'all will be able to see. Y'all will be able to see a woman nurturing. If you don't know what nurturing looks like, Google it. Look on YouTube. It's caring for another person. It's being mindful of the things that they need. Not being a nurturing woman is not so consumed with self that she can't see you. Right? You know, you might somebody who's like nursing, a nurse or something like that. Something to that effect. women that like, oh, you have something on your mouth, or let me get that off of you, or I'm trying to think of other ways of being nurturing. I'm thinking like with a child, and that's not. Some of you guys are not meant to be with women with children, and that's okay. Know your capacity. I don't want a man who don't want a woman with a child. I don't want it. And there's women that want to fit the mold of being with a man, even though she knows he never want to be with a woman with a child. I don't want you. You don't want me, I don't want you. Because I genuinely need to be with somebody who will love me and love my baby. And I already know if you're hesitant to do that, I don't want you. But again, there's women that try to fit the mold. And again, if there's women that are watching me, please do not fit that mold. Please do not fit that mold. I don't know why I'm congested. I feel like this entire live has been under attack because there's been so much going on. Lights turning on and off. I want to shout out the super stickers, y'all. Kings and Queens, thank you so much. Amira, thank you so much. YouTube user says someone will be a blessed man when he gets a wife like you. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that, sir. And CJ Ward, thank you so much. Thank you guys for the support. Thank you guys for all the support. Those who do this, I appreciate y'all so much. But anyway, so we're going to talk about nurturing. I think it's very important for you to be mindful. Is this woman nurturing? All right. She has nurturing characteristics. Another thing I want to bring up is she brings peace, not chaos. Y'all, I'm so sorry. Peace, not chaos. You do not want somebody who, when they come into your life, is like a bomb went off. It's just a bunch of drama, a lot of chaos, a lot of confusion. No. If you're going to bring somebody into your world and they're going to be a wife, you want it to be somebody who values peace. Not always drama, or coming up with things. I will also say this. If a woman is incredibly insecure and she's always wondering who you talking to, checking your Instagram following, checking who you talk. Oh, you like this picture. Oh, you follow this girl. Oh, you did this. Oh, you did that. Like, it's always something. If there's a lot of, as it relates to, not so much about romanticism, but like, it's like, there's always something. It's always something because of their insecurity. You looked at that girl too much. She said this and you didn't say nothing. There's always something as it relates to other women. I think a woman who is insecure that's a red flag. I'm sorry. It's a red flag. There's always something. And sometimes women like that will try to lock you down just to lock you down, not because they actually have any desire to be a wife to you. They just want to lock you down and lock you down. Insecurity is a red flag. A woman who is secure and a woman who desires to have a peaceful atmosphere, that is the type of woman that is a wife. When a woman is coming at you all the time about who is this, what are you doing, like, it's like, do you have a job? Do you work? Because it seems like the only thing you doing is checking what I'm doing. Okay? So security is very, very important. Having a woman that's secure is very important. Right. Let me do another one. Yeah. She's humble. Humble and teachable. Humble and teachable. Humble and teachable. Very important characteristic. What do I mean by teachable? That woman, I think both parties need to be humble and teachable. I think for a man to be in your life, in my life, he has to be humble and teachable. He doesn't know everybody and everything. You know what I'm saying? A man coming into my life right now, you don't know me like that. I don't know you like that. So there's going to be aspects of you that I have to learn. And there's going to be aspects of you that I have to learn. Like, it's an exchange. And a lot of men, unfortunately, come into a relationship. I know everything. You don't know everything about a woman. And a woman comes in like, I don't need to learn anything about you. We both need to be equally invested in learning each other. I have to know I'm not perfect. I don't know everything about you. You don't know everything about me. Humble and teachable. Because I know when I'm going into something, I have a therapist mindset, I'm going to try to figure you out. Not like in an evil or mean way. I want to know what will fulfill you. I want to know how to support you. I want to know those things. Humble and teachable. Humble and teachable. Understanding you're not perfect. You don't know everything. And you definitely don't know everything about the person that you are trying to be with or are with. So it's important for you in your process to be humble and to be teachable. Okay? Gosh. Y'all, I am so congested. It's like literally. Oh my goodness. Whew. All right. We're in the final, y'all. And then I'm going to go in. I'm going to answer some questions, okay? So let's keep it going. She's loyal when it's hard. She's loyal when it's hard. It says a man's loyalty is tested when he has everything. A woman's loyalty is tested when that man has nothing. Man's loyalty is tested when he has everything. Woman's loyalty is tested when she has nothing. When he has nothing. Are you still loyal? Even when that man is going through something, he might not be acting the best. He may not be, let's say he having a bad day at work and he acted in a certain way. Maybe something happened and it's caused him to get out of character. Are you going to show him grace? Are you going to show him grace because he's going through something and you know he's going through something? Are you going to dig your heels in and really try to figure this out with him and keep on fighting? I said this to somebody recently. I said, in a relationship, if two people are willing to fight, if it's two fighters in the ring, you can win. If you're willing to fight for me and I'm willing to fight for you, we're going to win this path. We're going to win. The problem is people don't want to fight. They're like, take me as I am. I'm not going to change. This is what I want. You know, I'm not changing. You change or whatever. It's this tit for tat. The only way these things work is if we both fighting. We both swinging. We both go. We're not getting out of the ring. We're not. I'm not giving up on you and you're not giving up on me. That's not going to condone being abused. That's not to condone infidelity. That's not to condone any of those things. But if I'm staying in this relationship, I'm going to give it my best effort and you're going to give it your best effort too. And the problem is in our society, a lot of people, it's instant gratification. And relationships, especially long-term ones, they're delayed. There's instant and delayed. You're inevitably going to go through something challenging. You're inevitably I'm going to do something that irritates you. You're going to do something that irritates me. But we both have to be willing to get in the ring. We both have to be willing to compromise. We both have to be willing to sacrifice. How do good teams work? Good teams work by us understanding each other's nuances and okay, you good at this, I'm good at that, you good at this, you specialize in that. I'm going to delegate and I know what you're good at and you know what I'm good at and we fill in the holes. That's what a good team does. Again, you have to understand that, family. You have to understand that. When a woman who is loyal, and you can feel loyalty. Y'all can feel loyalty. Y'all can feel authenticity. Y'all can feel that. You can feel when somebody being genuine. You can feel when somebody's actually being themselves. You feel that. That's not hidden from you. That's why I'm saying to you guys, you like when we're doing these things and we're thinking about who we want to be with, you need to be with somebody you can feel is loyal. You can feel got a fight in them. You know, I know I'm rough around the edges. I probably need to be with somebody who's a little rough around the edges too. Not because it's going to be this kaboom, we going to fight and everything like that. But there's going to be mannerisms that man going to understand. And there's going to be mannerisms and things he say, I'm going to understand. Because we both rough around the edges. We probably rough around the edges, but we can clean it up. We can frame switch really well. You know, that's a gift. Right? But I think a lot of people, we give up. We give up. We don't want to compromise. We don't want to sacrifice this. This is who I am. This is what I do. So leave it, take it, whatever. And that is not marriage. Marriage is not that. It's like, I'm going to compromise. I'm going to sacrifice. I'm going to be a good teammate. I'm going to figure this thing out. And if we don't have the tools, we're going to find somebody to figure this thing out. To help us figure this thing out. Okay? So again, that loyalty thing comes down to, are you willing to compromise? Are you willing to sacrifice? Are you selfish? Do you consider me in your decision making? Do you honor God with your life? Are you disciplined? Do you walk with emotional intelligence and integrity and maturity? Are you disciplined? Are you disciplined? Because if a woman's not disciplined now, she won't be later. And I'm going to end with this one, and I'm going to answer a couple questions because I have 7 minutes more on this live. I want to make sure I do this down. Is that woman walking in purpose? Purpose driven. You don't want a woman that's just around. You want a woman that's walking in her purpose, that's walking in her light, that's doing what you know God has called her to do. If you want a teammate, you want a strong teammate. You don't want just some ragamuffin that you want somebody when they're there, they're gonna add to you. They're gonna be something you can brag about. The Psalms 31 woman or Proverbs 31 woman she was praiseworthy. She was somebody that man was like, I'm proud of my woman. Yeah, she bad. She out here doing this. Yeah, look at her, man. She out here. Look at what she's doing to my house. Look at what she's doing online. Look what she's doing in her place of work. Look at what she's doing in her therapy. Look what she's doing as this, as that, whatever that is for her. You don't want no lazy woman. You want a woman that is like, she doing it. And you know, you're assured that no matter what situation she's in, she's going to be doing what she's called to do. Purpose driven. Not just trying to, and listen, some women's purpose is to be mothers and to be homemakers. And those are beautiful things. Y'all, I've met women that are absolutely, that is what they are called to do. And I love that. Right? They're like, I've met women at college and they just like, they look like they get married. Where y'all here getting a degree, but y'all just getting married. Me, I know what I'm called to do. Or at least I think I know what I'm called to do. And I know that when I'm out of that and I'm out of that alignment and I'm not with somebody that supports that, I can't do it. I can't be with that person. I can't be in that relationship. Because God's put me on this earth to do something. Like doing this or sewing into people in other ways or like this type of thing, like speaking to women and helping, like this gives me life. You want somebody that they're just not like, they just want to be taken care of. They're not in their purpose. They're not trying to find, they're just trying to be taken care of. They're trying to find the next best thing to take care of them. No. You want somebody that you can see that if you were to go down this road, They have a purpose on their life. They have a calling on their life. They're consistent with consistency, consistent with their calling, consistent with their purpose, consistent with whatever they are stewarding in their life. That's what you want to see in a woman. Not a woman that 1 week she want to be a model, the next week she want to be an actress, the next 2 months later she want to be an influencer for Fashion Nova, 3 months later she's trying to do no, you want somebody that's in their purpose. That's a wife. Somebody who is unstable is not a wife. That's a girlfriend. It's all about purpose, family. So you definitely want to be with somebody who that's a wife. Again, we've differentiated here the difference between a wife and a girlfriend. Now, some of y'all came on here being froggy, talking about, I don't want a wife, blah, 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 blah. Okay. You just stay where you at then. Because there's favor that you've decided you're opting out of. And that's on you. And I guarantee you, I talk to you in 5 years, you'll be married. Every guy that has ever said to me, I'm not getting married, gets married in like 2 years. I don't know why that is. I don't understand that. I'm not ever getting married. I am never, ever, 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 ever. I don't want a wife. I want 2 years later. Yeah, I said that. I was going through a season, but I found this woman and man, we just locked in and, I just like, man, like, I said that before. I was just hurt from my past, bro. Yeah, okay. Because God knows. He said it's not good for man to be alone. So let me create his rib. Let me create his person for him so that he can take dominion. So that Adam could take dominion. Part of him taking dominion, part of him reaching purpose, part of him reaching the levels. Even me, y'all, I know that when I meet the person I'm supposed to be with, or I'm with the person I'm supposed to be with, there are levels I'm going to reach because I'm now with my covering. Right now, I'm a woman who's I don't have a covering. God is my covering. But when I have a covering, God can put me in different places. Because without a covering, there's lack of safety. And I'm not just talking about like punching and fighting. I'm talking about there's spiritual safety in covenant. There's spiritual safety in covenant. And it's got to be a strong man. Not because I'm going to be battling him, but because of the calling. There's a calling on my life and there's a calling on his. All right. Now tell me now, did that make sense? Did that make sense? I know I said a lot today. I'm sorry, y'all. My nose, my congestion was coming up. My baby is here with me. And, that's just one of those things. Goodness. Spilled some water on my hair. Did that make sense, y'all? Okay. All right, family. Let me start answering some questions. I apologize. Y'all know I'm long-winded. There was more that I had to say, but I feel like I've said enough. Let me answer some of y'all questions. I'll give you guys 5 minutes. I'll try to run through these questions. Questions that I feel like are relevant to the live, okay? So y'all ask me questions. I'm not gonna, like the first question here, where do I send flowers? That's not relevant to the topic, so I'm not gonna, I appreciate you wanting to send flowers. Sam do love flowers, but that is not what we're relevant. That's not what we're talking about now. Okay, we're talking about wife. What do you think about body counts for women? Is it important? I feel like a woman who is disciplined is important. I think knowing a woman is disciplined and how she stewards her body is important. Do I feel like there needs to be a certain count or this or that? I think a woman who protects her temple and is mindful of her temple, that is important. You don't want a wife everybody has had access to, right? You want a woman who has protected and guarded her temple. She's disciplined. She's not sleeping with everybody. You may know a lot of men wanted her, and a lot of men might have talked to her, but you know she didn't get down like that. That there's a certain confidence with a man when he knows, like, yeah, y'all wanted her, but yeah, she mine though. Yeah, y'all, I know you tried it. I know you tried it. Yeah, but that's my girl though. That's my wife though. That she bad though. She is. You tried. But there's a confidence that comes in when no one else has had it. When you know that she has been disciplined in how she has stewarded her body. Right? There's a confidence that comes with that. So I think it's not so much important about the number. It's more important about, is she disciplined? You can tell when a woman's disciplined. You can tell. It's not rocket science. We don't have to play Blue's Clues. Okay? Blue's Clues. Tell me what to do. And again, I say this, if you're looking for a wife and a woman says she's celibate, again, women, here's the problem with that. Because somebody says something about celibate. A lot of y'all be saying y'all celibate, y'all not celibate. Y'all celibate for the men you want. Y'all not celibate for the men you don't want. I.e. sneaky links. So now that really does ruin the nature of what you're sharing, because now this man is saying, I don't believe you. Because your energy isn't giving, you haven't slept with nobody for 2 years. Y'all know. Men, you know. Some of your spirit like, man, she lying. She lying. She definitely not celibate. She acting like she's celibate for me. But okay, somebody said they're celibate for 13 years. You're gonna have a pure energy, because I know even for me, I have not been active in a while, years. Okay, and I hate to tell myself like that, but I feel like it's for a purpose. Years. With that being said, there's an energy that I put off now because it's been years. Like you already know, I'm not getting down like that. I'm not. And I know that the person that I decide to be with is going to appreciate that. Now, I'm not just out here. I could be doing a lot of things, but I'm not. I could be flying here, doing this, doing that, but I'm not. Right? All right. Let me move on. Let me move on. Oh man, thoughts on 50-50 and marriage and gender roles with a modern woman. Appreciate it. I think 50-50 absolutely determines, but it depends on the relationship. You know, there are certain relationships where you need to be 50-50. Like, we have to be real. Sometimes for the economy, it's not a relationship where you can just take care of the woman. And that's okay. But that's today's relationships, y'all. Like, if it's more of an equal split, that's okay. Right? So I think with a modern, he said a modern woman, the fact that you're going for somebody who's modern or you're labeling as modern, I just need to understand what modern means. Is that because she's working? I think men say they want a traditional woman. I think they want a hybrid. I think if most men are honest, they want a hybrid. They want a woman who has traditional values, but is a woman who's working in purpose and doing their thing. I really do. I haven't really met a lot of men that want a woman who's just at their mama's house, twiddling their thumbs, not doing anything, waiting for their husband to come scoop them up. I have not met that. I don't care what tax bracket that man is in. I don't care how fine that woman is. I have not met one man ever that is like, I want to wife a woman that's just at her mama's house, not doing nothing, waiting for me to go pick her up. I don't care how bad she is. That's a turn off to any man. So I think most men want hybrid. So it's really about, if you need 50-50, then be with a 50-50. Then just be honest about that type of relationship. You know, that might mean there's things that are more split. She can't take care of everything and be y'all working the same amount. There's got to be a split there. That's just not possible. She can't do the double shift of, I'm working full time just like you, but yet I take care of everything related to the household and X, Y, and Z. That's not fair to her. There's got to be a split. Now, if you're a man who's taking care of everything, then that woman does need to be more aware of the household day-to-day tasks, right? Like, she does need to be running with whatever that is. And different people is different things. Different people's households look different, right? We can't say everybody's household look the same. Somebody said, how do you know if she's listening to you if she doesn't respond to your intent in sopharmony? I don't know what that's saying. If she's not responding, she's not listening. Listening would require, like, your action would indicate that you've listened. If the action is not indicating she listened, she didn't listen. Right? Her, like, if I told my daughter, hey, clean your room, and she doesn't clean her room, she didn't listen. If I tell my baby we about to go walking and my baby doesn't put on her shoes, then she didn't listen. Her actions will be an indication she listened. Okay. Is it true that a woman who is truly into a man or down for him would really travel for him? I would travel for a man that I'm down for. I don't think women have a problem with that. I don't think a woman has a problem with traveling for her man. Now, if it's or a man that's like intentional. Like, if it's a man that's intentionally pursuing her, or a man that's dating her or courting her, whatever the case may be, I don't think women have an issue with that. I think it comes down to cost, right? Like, okay, if I'm traveling for you, am I paying for me to go? Are you paying for me to go? Are we meeting somewhere in the middle? Do I pay to go there? Are you paying to go there? It's more about cost, right? Like, I feel like that's the conversations I've heard more than not. Like, what does that look like? Now, some men's like, if I'm pursuing you, you're not paying for nothing. Like, you my woman. You don't come out of pocket. I'm the man. I'm doing it. Right? I've had that experience. And there's other men that don't feel that way. Right? In today's world, there's men that are saying, no, I need you to pay for the flight. So again, it just depends on the man. And it depends on the situation. I don't think it's about travel. I think it's like, okay, what cost am I bringing on for traveling to you? Right? So I don't think, yeah. Anyway. Okay. Do some women under 55 marry just for companionship? The question is, do women marry for companionship? I don't care what age it is. Yes. Do men marry for companionship? Yes. Does everybody marry for companionship? Yes. It's not about age. Soraya, baby, I hear your tablet, mama. It's so loud, mama. If you want to turn it down, you could be out here, baby, but it can't be that loud, mama. All right. Companionship, yeah. So I don't think that's a negative thing. Companionship, everybody wants companionship. Somebody said, "Can you love a nobody?" Why would you describe yourself as a nobody? Why would you describe that? Don't ever call yourself a nobody. I don't know you, but that don't mean you're a nobody. You're somebody. Don't say that. What is love in the Bible? 1 Corinthians 13. 1 Corinthians in the Bible is where you find somebody said their rules is you pay for the flight, I pay for the stay. Okay. All right, well, there you go. There you have it, folks. Somebody letting you know they stipulations. No. Can a woman discern a true godly man on social media that she would date? No. You have to have a conversation. Because there's a lot of men that put on a good show. On social media, you would think they got their ear to the Lord, and you have a conversation with them, and their ear is the farthest thing from the Lord. Your spirit has to have an opportunity to feel somebody's energy, because then you know if it's real or not. Like once you meet somebody and you finally like have a conversation, you do a FaceTime, you meet in person, you're like, oh, I know their energy. Like I feel their energy. I know it's authentic. I know it's real. I know what it is, and I think that with men, no, you absolutely have to meet that man, at least have a conversation. I can tell in 10 minutes if a man really, really, really rocking with God like that. Give me 10 minutes. I can tell you got a relationship with God. We could be on the phone. You can we can be in person. You can FaceTime me. I can tell by how you conduct yourself if you really have a relationship with God like that. My spirit gonna tell me. You can't hide it. God's gonna be like, no, I have Pam, no. Soraya Bear. Her hair is all over the place too, y'all. But anyway, that Holy Spirit is potent right there. All right, that Holy Spirit is potent. All right, Soraya, come here. I'll answer the last question. You can sit right here. All right, come here. All right, that's it. Okay, so let me do the last one. All right. What is? Let me see. All right. So let me see. When do you think it is appropriate time to connect with a person you're attracted to? When you're ready. When you're ready. When you are ready for a person. You know what I'm saying? When you're ready, that's when you connect. I feel like if you're really into someone, if you really think that this is somebody you could really be with, you don't approach them when you're not ready. You approach them when you're ready. When you're like, you know what? Wherever this goes, I'm ready for it. That's if somebody you're really interested in. So that's why I say that. You approach somebody when you're ready. Right? All right, Tinka. You is how do you discern if she's wifey or just a friend? You really have to have a conversation. And again, you got to use your discernment. Got to use your discernment, family. Your discernment is going to tell you a lot of things. Is she interested in you like that? Does she have wifely qualities? Are you interested in her like that? Do you see her as a wife? Like those things you have to really take into account, you know? Okay. Is there a difference between a house and a home? Yes, absolutely. A house can be extremely empty, have no fulfillment. Home could be a person. And I hope and pray that everybody, and that's the last one I'm going to answer. I hope that some of y'all find y'all home, because home is not a place. Home is bigger than that. Home can be a person. I hope y'all find your home, because I believe that God has for us people that we meet and we feel at home. We feel safe with. We can't explain it. There's just this divine connection with them that it supersedes logic. It just doesn't make sense. Home is like, even if I'm on the road, when you're with me, I'm home. Even if I'm we on vacation or we're traveling for work or whatever the case may be, if you're with me, I'm home, because you're home. I've learned over time, family, home supersedes physical location. Home is a spiritual thing. Home is all spiritual. It's all about an energy. Because you can be in this place you call home, but the spiritual energy is empty and lonely and unfulfilling. Like, I'm looking for a home. I got a house. I'm looking for a home. And that's where my soul has met its home. Oh, my girl, your hair. Your hair is doing what it need to be doing, big mama. But I hope each one of y'all find y'all home. I hope each and every one of y'all find y'all home. Because that's a beautiful thing when you can find home in a person. Right? All right, family. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's live. I'm sorry for all the interruptions and all the things. I want to thank everybody that supported the live. I think I saw Tommy on my thing. I didn't see the amount. I thought I saw you. I think I saw Anthony as well. It was very quick. That gave on the Cash App. On my thing, it goes fast because I be trying to get to watch a TikTok. So,
Mom, you took so long though. It's already nighttime.
Yeah, I know, baby. My show's at night.
Why is it at night?
Because that's when mommy's able to do it. Usually you're asleep.
Oh.
Yeah. But now you're not asleep.
It's because I like to.
Anyway, y'all, you guys have a yes, I'm gonna find my home. No, again, I know that's like deep and like, oh, you've been watching fairy tales. I really believe home can be absolutely. I've met people, they met their home. Right? They met their home. And it's a beautiful thing. I can't wait to find it. I hope you guys find it as well. So I hope tonight was helpful to you guys. I hope and pray. I want to thank everybody. Again, thank you, everybody that supports me. It means so much to me, y'all. It means so much to me. I know tonight I went a lot of different places. I hope this made sense. I know I can get passionate. And I apologize. I'm sorry I get so passionate. I can't help myself. I just ooze with it. I don't know what to do with myself, but there's certain topics that really, they get me going, right? And I thank you guys for watching and supporting all of this. It means a lot to me. Okay? All right. Well, I love y'all. Have a good night. And I will see you guys next week. All right? Have a good night. Bye-bye.